you guys asked and we are delivering. We are gonna do a do-it-yourself pull-up bar for your house, your garage, your basement, wherever you guys can put this thing. I am not totally sure how it's gonna work, but Pat is totally confident this is exactly what you're looking for, and it's at a reasonable cost, and it's something that you guys can do yourself. So he's gonna walk us through the steps, and then we'll have our finished product and we can show you guys some pull-ups at the end of this video.
All right, so you guys have definitely been requesting this one, and a lot of equipment's still hard to get, or it's back ordered or taking time. So this is something you can literally go to Home Depot or Lowe's, come home and have a pull-up bar the same day. So I'm gonna walk you through the parts that you need and how to actually get this installed in a way that's not gonna bring your ceiling down. So what I've got here is actually water pipe. It's thicker and less flexible than gas pipe since it holds a higher pressure with water. Depending on the height of your ceiling, some of these parts might be a little bit different. So for the part that I'm actually doing the pull-ups on, I've got a 48-inch piece, which is standard. You pull it off the shelf. Then I'm gonna come around and I've got 2 elbows that are gonna screw into that. The supports coming down from the ceiling, I've got 2-foot supports. You're gonna have to check depending on the height of your ceiling. If you're in a basement, these are probably gonna be a little bit smaller, which is also gonna make them cheaper. After that, I've got 2 floor obscussions, mounting rings, which are gonna screw to the end of this pipe and then into this 2x4. And the 2x4 is actually gonna be screwed into multiple ceiling joists. So I've got a lot of support hanging from the ceiling. And the way that that's actually gonna work is I'm not gonna use screws, I'm gonna use bolts. So this is gonna go through the 2x4, through here, and be bolted on both sides so that it cannot rip out of the 2x4. And then I've got 4 5-inch lag screws that are gonna lag this 2x4 into the ceiling to make sure that it's super sturdy. All of this cost me $65, and it could be a little bit cheaper if you guys use smaller pieces coming down from the ceiling. So we're gonna show you how to get this up there and installed.
So step number 1 is we are just gonna screw all of the pieces together. So we're gonna take off these orange caps, and it's pretty straightforward. It's exactly what it sounds like. So once he unscrews that, we'll get started. Piece.
So first one that's gonna go on, this is gonna be the actual pull-up bar, and we're gonna screw our elbows into this as tight as we can get it. And once we screw our next piece in, we can actually get a little bit more leverage. So this is gonna be the support coming down from the ceiling. So once I get this one in, I can actually use them to create leverage against one another to where I can actually get this even tighter now. There we go. We're gonna do the same thing on the other side. Elbow on, just super easy.
This is actually kind of heavy. It's much heavier than you would expect it to be.
The other thing I think I forgot to mention is this is 1-inch thick pipe. All of the pieces are for 1 inch. That's gonna allow for it to be about the exact same thickness as a normal pull-up bar and keep from any flexing happening when you guys are using it. So now I've actually got more or less my pull-up bar assembled here. The next step is gonna be screwing on these mounting plates. So I want the flat end away. So I'm gonna screw this with the lip sticking towards my pull-up bar. There we go. I'm gonna twist that as tight as I can, and I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. So now that I've actually just got the pull-up bar assembled, the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mark where each of these screws is gonna go, and I'm gonna drill holes all the way through the pull-up bar, or all the way through the 2x4. So I'm gonna mark all 8, 4 on each side. And I'm gonna take this back off and drill those holes through the 2x4. All right, so now I'm gonna feed my carriage bolts through the holes that I just drilled in my 2x4. And I'm going through the side I did not put my pencil marks on so that my holes line up when I flip this back over. All right, so I've drilled my holes, I put my carriage bolts through those holes, I flip my 2x4 over, and now I'm gonna set this pull-up bar on top of those, and I'm gonna bolt it down. So we've got 8 holes that we're trying to line up, and if they don't fit perfectly, your bolts are probably long enough that you can kind of maneuver them. It doesn't have to be perfect. You guys can definitely make this work. Just might take a little manhandling.
So once you have the pipe through the lags, or I guess through the bolts, I should say, not the lags. We haven't used those yet. We're gonna take one washer and one nut, and we're gonna put those on. So I just put my washer on, and then I'm gonna put my nut on. Oops. And I'm gonna screw it all the way down and tighten it up.
All right, so we've got our pull-up bar bolted to our 2x4. The last thing to do now is just to hang it. There's a couple things that we definitely want to keep in mind where this doesn't come crashing down on us. And what I mean by that is we want to spread the load of this so that when we're jumping up, especially if we're doing kipping pull-ups, we're not putting all that weight on one single joist. So we want to spread it out between multiple. So if our joists are running this way, I want to attach to multiple there. If you guys are in your basement and it's not finished, it should be super easy to see. If not, you might need to get a stud finder and make some marks on your ceilings where you can adjust this to where it's spreading the load out between multiple joists.
I'm sure you guys know this, but my expertise, do not just hang it on your drywall. It would probably just fall down on its own, let alone with you jumping on it or trying to do a kipping pull-up. So please find the joists, take the time to do that, and make sure it is screwed in properly to those joists so you don't come crashing down onto your butt.
All right, so I've got my joist marked on the ceiling, and I do want to lag this up there so that it's really strong. But to make it easy on me, I'm gonna screw it first to kind of hold it up there, and then I'm gonna add those bolts. And I'm even gonna put my screws in now. I'm gonna start them so that I don't have to hold it and fidget with it while it's up there.
So he screwed it into the ceiling just to hold it, and then he went back through and made additional holes for his lags. So now he's taking his lags, and you'll see here in a second, and he's putting a washer on the lag, and then he's kind of starting to screw it in just to hold it into place. And then he's gonna finish putting them into the ceiling here in a second. All right guys, and that's it. So it took us about, well, it took Pat, I should say, I was his helper, about 30 minutes start to finish, and it cost us a total of about $65 based on the amount of piping that you need. It's super exciting. I think the main points that Pat did definitely is he double and triple checked that everything was as tight as possible, and then he also double and triple checked when he installed it into the ceiling that he was spread across multiple joists and he didn't miss any of those joists. So as soon as I hop up here in a second, I won't come falling down to the ground, even though he'd probably laugh at me if I did. So I want to show you guys. It's really awesome. For $65 in 30 minutes, I can hop up and I can go through my strict pull-ups, my strict toes to bar, and all the good things that if I didn't have a pull-up bar, I haven't been able to do. So I hope this video was super helpful for you guys. Pat's awesome. He loves this stuff. I love getting to see his creativity and what he can come up with. It feels super sturdy. It definitely doesn't feel like it's going anywhere. Make sure you guys drop whatever comments you have below, and we will make sure to answer those so you guys can build yourself your own pull-up bar if you haven't had one or you've got one back ordered that maybe isn't gonna come for a couple weeks. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. Comment below with anything else you wanna see or any questions you guys have. Have a great day.